Humans are not born with what science calls object permanence, or the ability to recognize that things do not literally disappear the moment we cease to perceive them. It is one of many fundamental skills that most of us develop in our infancy. When parents engage in peekaboo with their children by hiding behind their hands or furniture and playfully revealing themselves, they aren't just amusing themselves with their befuddling children's reactions to their apparent disappearances and reappearances. They are also teaching their children object permanence. Their babies are gradually learning that they're still there despite the loss of perception, and it's a lesson that's much easier to learn than it is to unlearn. It doesn't take long for us to understand that Mom is just in the other room. She hasn't vanished from existence just because we can't see her. Dad's at work right now, but we know he'll be back. He seems to disappear every day, but he always comes back. Eventually, we trade crawling for walking and we flip the script. We leave our families behind as we set out to adventure, learn, work, and love. But most of us rely on what we learn from those games of peekaboo to trust that our loved ones will still be home when we return to them. Some of us even move to a different part of the world, but we know that our friends and family haven't vanished from existence just because we don't see them in front of us. It may be inconvenient or financially impractical, but we know that at any time, with a phone call or a trip back home, the friends and family we left behind will be there waiting for us. They'll be hiding behind the hands of time and distance, thrilled to see us return for them. It's been that way our whole lives, and we learned it back when we were still learning to sit and crawl. As adults, we have little reason to doubt our faith in object permanence, but we should, because very few things are really permanent. We all know that theoretically, but in the same way that we didn't learn the lessons of peekaboo in our first encounter, we need multiple, much more painful lessons to learn just how temporary many things and all people really are, and that's a lesson worth learning. It's better to realize right now that, while it's true, objects don't just disappear when they fall between our car seats where we can't see them. People do disappear. It's not that they can or they might, they do disappear. At some point, every person we know and love will vanish from our sight, and our minds will insist that it's okay, that they're not really gone. That friend, spouse, or family member is just waiting to peek out from behind their hands and laugh with us again. But unlike every other time it happened, at some point, we'll be wrong. Eventually, they're no longer hiding behind their hands or the couch or on vacation or waiting back home for us. They're gone, forever. We can't just book a trip or make a call and get them back. While infants grasp the concept of object permanence relatively quickly, the concept of death permanence is one that still has most adults befuddled. You almost certainly know that people die and don't return, but I'm equally certain that you don't really give that knowledge the weight that it deserves on a daily basis. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Every time you get to see a loved one, it's a gift. Those encounters are temporary and finite, so savor them. Visit just a little more. Sit around the table just a little longer. Hug them just a little tighter. Because objects may be permanent, but people are not.